Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Bitch and Brainstorm podcast. I'm here with one of our Elevate Your Online Presence Business Summit panelists. It is such a mouthful. Tammy Olson is here, and she is going to be on our Get Shit Done panel, aka productivity, on April 20th at 9:25 a.m. Pacific time. And Tammy is part of our largest panel, and I am so excited to have super amazing conversations all around productivity and the habits and the things that we need to do in order to get better results in our business. So, Tammy, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. Super happy to be here. I love this topic. I love the idea of this whole summit that you're putting together. My name is Tammy. I am a business strategist, primarily focusing in operations, and I really help small business owners refine their processes to create sustainable growth for their unique business. And I feel a real passion to helping business owners actually get something across the finish line for themselves rather than just a lot of abstract ideas or long lists of things that never actually get done.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about the laundry list, right? It's a
Yes.
big giant checklist. And I've kind of figured out ways to help myself, but can you talk about maybe some ways that we can go kind of from this checklist that just feels very long and daunting and overwhelming, and we feel like we're never going to get any of it done, so why even bother? Can you maybe give us some tips on what works best for you?
I would love to. I'm a master of the to-do list, but one thing that I know is exactly what you said. They get so long and unwieldy, we don't actually finish things. Now, there are those of us amongst us, maybe, who will put something on the list just so we can cross it off.
Girl, okay, how did you know?
Like, we know who we are. But in a nutshell, I think that one of the biggest mistakes sometimes that people make is they look at this long list and they start kind of crushing it into time. What I mean by that is they'll say, I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to run down my list. Here are 3 things I can get done in 15 minutes. It seems to make sense. Oh, great. I'll get 3 things off my list. What often happens is maybe those 3 things, you get through one of them and then you get sidetracked and your 15 minutes is gone. And now there's nothing really checked off of that list. And I also find that those short tasks are probably not the needle moving activities. They're just things we just think we want to get done with. And so I challenge people with that long list to go back to what needle moving activities, what are going to drive something in your business or with your family or whatever this, kind of one laundry list is. Start thinking about it in terms of priorities and build the time into your calendar. So calendaring is a tool for progress. Our calendar should be our friend. We tell our calendar what we're doing. And we start with our list and we say, what are the things that I simply cannot put my head down on the pillow if I don't do today? Like what? And it's not 20 things and it's not 10 things. It's 3 to 5 things.
Yeah.
You'll be far more effective with the right 3 to 5 things.
Yeah. I love that. I recently, I did this thing a long time ago when I was still a photographer where I learned about time blocking, right? And I time blocked my calendar. And because I realized that my calendar was controlling me instead of vice versa. And I recently had to restructure my calendar because I was starting to feel like a hot mess express again. And so I have my own little strategy that I use for time blocking, and I do everything by category. So I have like income producing activities.
Calendar categories. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, somebody that gets me. I'm so happy. Okay. So I do categories. So I have income producing activities, admin, client work, education, podcasting, because it's part of my goal to help 100 business owners in 2023. And I do that through my Bitch and Brainstorm podcast. And so and then connecting, building relationships and stuff like that. So I have it all categorized and color coded. And so it really helped me say, okay, so you right now have to do an income producing activity. And then I have a list of what are those income producing activities. for each category. Is that something that you do too? Because I'm totally nerding out that that's something someone else does.
Yes. You're my spirit animal. It's exactly. Yeah.
I love
And
it. Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
I love it too. And then one thing that I have found really helpful is you can literally look at your calendar for a week and you can say, am I having enough income producing activities? Like, yes, it's blocked. Okay, so two things, Elaine. Presumably you're disciplined enough to actually do what's on your calendar.
Okay, so that's a whole nother story. That's all about boundaries, right? And honoring our calendar. So this is what I said. I said, future me is the one who sat down and created this calendar. Future me said, this is how I want you to run your business. Current me is the one who's going to try to fuck it up and sabotage it.
Yep. That is
So
powerful.
that's a whole nother mindset shift there. But like,
yep.
I have to go, no, Elaine, this is what current, like future you said, this is what you wanted to do. Why are you trying to screw it up?
Yes.
Oh,
well, I think it's the biggest challenge. People think that I am a big fan of time blocking. And I think it's the biggest mistake is people are like, well, I blocked my calendar. Why isn't it working? Well, yeah, are you doing what your calendar says you should? Yeah. Yes.
You have to honor the calendar. You have to honor the calendar.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Is there any special thing that you've done to force yourself into honoring your calendar? Is there any tricks that you found that work for you? Because what works for me may not work for you and vice versa. And whoever's listening, you need to be able to have different options and figure, oh, that will work for me, or that does not work for me.
I am aware of my tendencies to procrastinate and to distract myself. Yes. So I talk about this is my water bottle. The minute I don't want to have to do something, I suddenly have an urgent need for more water. And so what I have noticed is anytime that I'm running, I'm like, if this is more than half full, you don't get to get up, because I know it's a distraction technique. And then I go to my calendar. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Yeah. I just keep going to my calendar. What am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so
kind of calling myself out on my shit. And it doesn't always work, but I just keep coming back to the calendar.
Yeah. Self-awareness really is the key here. Like being aware, like you said, you're aware of what you do to procrastinate. Like if you know that, like I work from home, right? And so, but I also have tricked myself, I guess you could say, as I'm going to the office. So every morning before I come into my office, Jax and I, my security detail, the dog, we go get a latte. And so it forces me to leave the house. So I have to be dressed. I have a full face of makeup on because I'm not leaving the house without my makeup. I leave the house. I'm gone for 10 minutes. I come back and now we can start my day. And so then I don't worry about the laundry. I don't worry about, any of the chores that have to be done because I'm at work. I'm at work. I don't eat at my desk, right? I give myself a 2-hour lunch break that I can do whatever I want to do with. And if I decide I just want to sit around and scroll TikTok, then for 2 hours, and that's what I can do. Because I gave myself, I blocked 2 hours every day for lunch. And so it's my time to do what I want to do with it. If I decide I'm done and I'm like, oh, I'm done, I'm just going to go back and start working on stuff, then that's my prerogative. Yeah. But
those boundaries are so important. And I carried that over from corporate. I worked from home even when I was still in my corporate role. So it's not you're going out to get coffee, getting dressed, like whatever that morning ritual is that says, haha, I have arrived and now I am at work. Super powerful. And totally works for me too. 100%.
Yeah. It can be really, really challenging, but this is what I have to do. It's what I have to do. So can you talk a little bit about kind of the overwhelm that comes with a really long to-do list? Do you have any strategies or tips around how to manage that, how to lessen that overwhelm and stress and anxiety that comes from, oh my God, I have so much to do?
Yeah, I can. And it comes down to, again, getting the important rocks or needle moving activities brought to the forefront for yourself, and then taking the next possible baby step. Any amount of progress is progress that will start to build on itself. And I have an example of this where I was going on vacation. I had 2 dogs at the time. They needed to go to a boarding kennel. I wasn't accustomed to that. And frankly, I guess I had some feelings about it, because when I traveled, my dogs always got to stay with my family. I never had to send them to a kennel. And so as I was planning this big family vacation where my whole family was going, there was nobody to take care of the dogs. I had to get them to a kennel. I'm getting closer and closer to the vacation date and no closer to finding a place to board the dogs. No place. And I realized it's because I kind of didn't want to. So I had some, mental hangups with that. And so I literally, my to-do list, instead of showing up on my to-do list every day, find a kennel, find a kennel, find a kennel, I broke it down. And the first thing was, well, how are you going to find a kennel? I'm going to call my vet. I'm going to talk to my neighbor, and I'm going to talk to my groomer. The first thing I did was put on my calendar, call the vet with their phone number, talk to my neighbor at 4:30 in the afternoon when I knew she was home. Like, I literally took it to that step. And for 5 weeks, I had been battling this find a kennel on my calendar. 3 days later, I had identified 3 boarding kennels from these 3 sources, visited 2, picked 1. 3 days to do what I had been avoiding for 5 weeks simply by taking the next smallest step.
Yeah. The next smallest step is so important. It doesn't have to be this big leap. It's like, if you were to break it down into tiny little things, tiny little steps, just one step, imperfect action, right? Just
imperfect action. And oftentimes we look at that one thing and we're like, oh, that's too big. I don't have time to do this one big thing. But I bet you have time to look up a phone number to, whatever the first thing you need to do is.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the myths of productivity?
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I have some feelings about these. The myth of multitasking is the one that I get real wound up. And of course, there's an entire book. Why can't I think of his name? Dave Crenshaw wrote the entire book on the myth of multitasking, how doing it all gets nothing done. Science proves that we as humans don't multitask. We switch tasks, and we're more effective doing one task at a time than trying to do 2 simultaneously. So why do we persist in thinking that I'm a great multitasker is a way to live our lives? It's just a myth. And I am all for focused attention on one thing at a time. We are actually getting further along in our work doing it that way than trying to do all the things at once, no matter how good it feels.
Yeah.
Or how effective we think we are, because we're not.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're listening to this, I'm curious to know, how many tabs do you have open on your computer right now? Right?
Self-reflection. Yes.
Goodness gracious. When I'm helping people with systems and stuff and I have them share their screen and I'm like, oh dear Lord, like I can't do it. Like I can't, I don't have 10 things open. I just can't. Like, it just boggles my mind. And I'm like, oh, okay. Some people do that. And I'm like, okay, whatever works for you. I can't do that though. Like, I need to, otherwise that's a shiny object right there for me. Being in multiple places, it's a shiny object, and I'll go down the rabbit hole and I won't see you for a while. So
yeah, I do like to set up. So one thing I do is on opening a new browser. Yeah, I do have 4 pages. I always have my CRM, my LinkedIn. I have 4 pages that automatically open up every time. That actually prevents me from having to go down that rabbit hole where if I have to go look something up and then I get distracted. But that's it. You're right. When they're all across the top and I'm like, what am I looking for? And I'm trying to find the one tab, just shut it down.
Yeah. Because then, it's really difficult sometimes to figure out where something is and how, oh my God, there's music playing and I don't know where it's coming from and, stuff like that. So super funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, I am really, really excited to have you come and be a part of our summit. I cannot wait to continue this conversation with all of the amazing people that we have set up for this panel. So be sure to check us out. Again, April 20th, the Productivity Habits and Get Shit Done panel starting at 9:25 a.m. You are not going to want to miss this conversation. It is going to be freaking amazing. So yes. So thank you, Tammy, so much for coming to hang out. And it was really lovely meeting you. And I cannot wait for this event. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Elaine.
All right. We'll see you guys later.